You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Harrison Graham. We have a lot of news and rumors to get into here on today's show. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Travis Kelce did an interview with Vanity Fair recently, and he kind of broached the subject of being underpaid in this discussion because for what he brings to the table, he definitely is underpaid, only makes about $14 million per year. Here's what Kelce had to say on that topic. He said, "My managers and agents love to tell me how underpaid I am. Anytime I talk about wanting more money, they're just like, why don't you go to the Chiefs and ask them? When I saw former Chiefs receiver Tyreek Hill go and get $30 million per year, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, that's 2 or 3 times what I'm making right now. But the free agent market looks like fun until you go somewhere and you don't win." Now you look at Kelce's career earnings, almost $65 million, which, hey, I'd love to have $65 million. But in reality, for how long he's been in the career or in the NFL and how productive he's been, he probably should have made another 30, 40, 50 million bucks up to this point. But he clearly values winning more, which you have to respect. Now, this is pretty ridiculous what the guy has done at this point. I mean, he's going to finish his career with over 1,000 career catches. He'll be over 900 by this time next year. Hell, I think 15,000 yards is within reach. 69 touchdowns so far, very nice, but he wants more. I think he could get over 100 potentially. Averages almost 13 yards per catch for a tight end is excellent. Long of 80. I mean, look, the bottom line is Travis Kelce is underpaid. That's just a cold hard fact. Kelce could easily demand more money and get it. However, he's chasing rings. He's chasing legacy in Kansas City, playing with Patrick Mahomes. I think he's already the greatest tight end of all time. There's no doubt he's the greatest receiving tight end of all time. He has 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons. No other tight end has done it more than 3 straight years. So that speaks for itself. He is the greatest receiving tight end of all time. But he's improved as a blocker throughout his career. He's not awesome at it, but he's above average at this point. I think he's a good enough blocker that, for me, he's already the GOAT tight end, but if he's not already, he's going to be there soon with a couple more really productive years. What he does, no one can replicate. It's impressive what he's been able to do, and you got to give him a lot of credit for, making good money but not demanding massive contracts so the Chiefs can remain flexible and chase those championships. Now, show Travis Kelce some love down in the comments. Type 87 to support Travis Kelce. That's his jersey number, of course. I'm a big 87 guys. I want everybody watching to type 87 in the chat right now. The 33rd team released an article of X factors for every team, and I found the Chiefs one to be interesting, and it does make sense. Donovan Smith, who is set to be this team's left tackle this year, of course, has spent the first, 8 years of his career with Tampa. Did not play that well last year, but signed to help replace Orlando Brown. Andy Benoit of the 33rd team had this to say about the Chiefs O-line situation and X factor. He said, what Andy Reid realizes is that the difference in value between your left and right tackle is essentially null. That's why Reid for years had one of the game's highest paid right tackles in Mitchell Schwartz, and it's why he's willing to spend for the AFC's highest paid right tackle in Jawan Taylor. Donovan Smith was available to sign because the team knew him best. The team that knew him best, Tampa Bay, no longer wanted him, and presumably neither did 30 other teams, given Smith's deal wasn't signed until May, and minus incentives is worth just $3 million. So Benoit's kind of saying, yeah, it makes him an X factor. He's coming off a down year. Not a lot of teams wanted him. Chiefs only are on the books for $3 million if things don't work out, if incentives aren't met. But the point that is to be made here is if Smith can put 2022 in the rear view and get back to 2021 and prior, yeah, he's not going to be awesome at left tackle, but just be serviceable because Kansas City definitely upgraded at right tackle in Jawan Taylor from Andrew Wiley. That's an upgrade there. If Donovan Smith is 85% of what Orlando Brown was, not even that Orlando Brown was that great, but if he's just serviceable over there, the rest of this offensive line should be awesome from left guard to right tackle with the rest of that group. So I think that Smith being an X factor makes sense. Now, if he sucks, your blind side has problems, so that's a concern. But at the end of the day, I think that if he can just be serviceable, the Chiefs will be in a good spot. What do you guys think on this one? How will the Chiefs O-line compare to last year's offensive line? Type B for better or type W for worse? Let us know in the comments section down below. Now, on today's show, we're selling shirts that you guys can pick up. These Chiefs USA themed t-shirts, chatsports.com/ChiefsUSA / should be there. So when you enter that online /ChiefsUSA, chatsports.com/ChiefsUSA, pick up a Chiefs 4th of July themed t-shirt today and make sure you guys are repping the red, white, and blue on July 4th. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the offense. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, could he be wide receiver 1 going into this year? Chiefs Wire made the case for him to be wide receiver 1. I found that certainly very interesting. Here's Logan Lazarzik saying that when discussing options for the top receiver in Kansas City, Valdes-Scantling doesn't get enough credit. We already know the type of player he is at this point in his career, yet it's not impossible to think that the 28-year-old wideout could wind up as the top receiver for Mahomes in 2023. Now, you look at his stats by year, Green Bay up until last season, he's never had more than 42 catches in a year, which is actually this past year a career high in Kansas City, so kudos to him and the Chiefs for making that work out. He's never had 700 yards in a season, had a 6-touchdown year in 2020, but otherwise never more than 3. I think we have a large enough sample size that he is not a number 1 wide receiver, period, end of story. Now, you don't need a true transcendent number 1 in this offense because you have that in Travis Kelce. Like last year, Juju Smith-Schuster, as a receiver, led the team with 933 yards because when you have Kelce for 12, 13, 1,400 yards, you don't need the Tyreek Hill level of player. But you still want your number 1 receiver to be better than MVS, right? Like, he's a complementary piece and a good one. Like, he's a deep threat. He can challenge downfield. His efforts in the AFC Championship game were terrific. But in a perfect world, Kadarius Toney breaks out and is your number 1 receiver. I think Sky Moore could be poised for a big season as well. We'll see what Rashee Rice does as a rookie also. But to me, MVS should be your 2 or 3. You don't want him being your number 1 target because he doesn't really do the full route tree. He's not a guy you're targeting 10-plus times a game. You're trying to get a couple of big plays per game out of him. That's really what he brings to the table. So I like MVS. Talked to him at the Super Bowl. Cool guy, but your number 1 receiver, that he's never proven to be able to do that. So I don't see why in year 6 this would be the time where that would happen. Now, the 2023 season is almost here. We're going to talk about training camp stuff in a moment. This is the time to join the family here at the Chiefs Report. Subscribe for daily videos, the latest news, rumors, camp updates, and a whole lot more. Don't miss out on the latest surrounding the Chiefs. All right, here's the training camp information. All 32 NFL teams' training camp dates and schedules have been finalized, including the Chiefs. So this is how things sit. Rookies report on July 18th. On the 22nd, Veterans report the 23rd. That's when that first practice takes place. And then on the 17th of August, that'll be the final practice before teams kind of shift into let's get ready for week 1 mode. The point is the countdown's here. I mean, football's in the air. We're almost into the month of July here. Once we are, it's kind of football season. End of July, training camp, August, more camp and preseason, September. The games that count are here. So it is upon us. It is in the air. I cannot wait. I know you guys can't wait either. So the countdown is on. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon with another edition of the Chiefs Report.